Hello, how's it going everyone? I'm back with another top 10 list. Today I wanted to talk about moves that can ring you out when your opponent is close to the ring edge and has his back towards it. It is good to be aware of these options so you don't lose the round or maybe even the entire match when you were winning health-wise, but got too aggressive and got hit by a move that sent you flying. Let's get to it then. Number 10. Amy, Ivy, Killick, Nightmare and Salomon, back throws. To start off this list I want to mention something several characters have access to, which are back throws that can ring out behind them. Just so you are aware, there are also command throws that do the same thing, such as Yoshimitsu's rainbow drop. Or back throws that ring out not behind them, but at a different angle, such as Raphael his back throw. So when you get close to Amy, Ivy, Killick, Nightmare or Salomon while they are close to the ring edge with their back towards it, make sure that you break back throws. It's okay to take 50 damage from a front throw when the other option is losing your entire health bar in one move. Number 9. Nightmare and Siegfried. Overtoss aka Reverse Flapjack. Siegfried and Nightmare have something similar to back throws, which is their 1A+J. These are hit throws that can be broken the same way as normal throws. So if you want to break 1AG, the version that rings out behind them, you got to break back throws. You can also low block this move, which will leave them at -16, though I wouldn't recommend blocking low unless you're 99% sure that this is the move they are going to use. Breaking back throws is a lot safer. Just remember that Siegfried and Nightmare have access to these moves and keep breaking back throws. Number 8. 2B. Augmented First Strike. First of all, I have to say that it isn't Freebie Hold itself that rings out behind her, but the combo that she gets off of it. Even though this move is really slow at 32 frames, people seem to get hit by it more often than you would think. Honestly, I don't really know why, but I'm speaking from experience when I say that people try to duck it all the time. Just like most moves on this list, you can also sidestep this. There isn't really much else you can do either. Even though 2B is going to end up in her aerial leap stance, which means she can't block because she's in the air, she's also going to be at +6 frames, and trying to push anything after blocking her freebie hold is most likely just going to get you counter hit. Number 7. Amy, Unholy Kick. Just like 2B her freebie hold, Amy's 4-4K doesn't ring out by itself either, but the combo she gets off of it will. The only good thing, other than ringing out behind her of course, is that this move is safe on block. Not only is it safe on block, but it's also just -4. But unfortunately for the Amy player, it also leaves her back turned, which greatly limits her options. Her 4-4K is not very fast at 27 frames and also very linear. So if you want to punish her for trying to ring you out behind her, you will have to sidestep this move first and then whiff punish her. You got to be fast about it though, as her 4-4K recovers fairly quick, as you can see here. Number 6. Sofia, Ascension. Even though Sofia's 2-2A+B already rings out behind her by itself, she can also combo after it with a backturn B+K, which is going to send them flying even further, which means that she doesn't have to be all that close to the ring edge to ring you out with it. This move, just like so many others on this list, is also a vertical, which means that you can avoid it by sidestepping. You can also block punish her if you block this move, as it is -14 on block, and even though your 14 frame Punisher probably won't do a lot of damage, it is probably going to make the Sofia player think twice about just throwing this move out over and over. Number 5. Shangri Stillwater. Now this move is pretty interesting because it actually rings out both ways, in front of her and behind her. If she hits the string on normal hit, it is going to ring out in front of her. If she gets the counter hit, then she can follow up with a combo and ring you out behind her. This move has good range for a short range character and is pretty fast at 18 frames. But it does have a couple of downsides. One thing that isn't really a big deal is that it is -10 on block. Fortunately or unfortunately, depending on if you are the X player or not, is that only a handful of characters have access to a 10 frame move. One other thing that I have already mentioned is that she has to hit you with a counter hit for it to ring out behind her. 6BB is also a vertical, which means that you can sidestep it, but more importantly, it is a 2-hit string and you can actually sidestep the second hit if you block the first. She can mix it up with 6BA, but the A extension is nothing to be scared of. It's a low that does minimal damage and leaves her at -2 on hit. Number 4. Siegfried Frost Fro. When you play against Siegfried players, you will definitely find a lot of them fishing with this move as you push him closer towards the ring edge. This move has pretty decent range, but he actually has to be pretty close for it to turn into a hit throw, which is exactly what he wants if he wants to ring you out behind him. So what can we do about this move? One option you have is to simply be patient, block it and block punish him, as 4B is actually -16 on block. Another option is to stay out of range at where it turns into an attack throw, so even if he is going to hit with it, he won't be able to ring you out. And the last thing you can do is to sidestep around it, since it's a vertical. Number 3. Yoshimitsu Swirling Blossom. First of all, Yoshimitsu has to have meter to gain access to this move, but when doesn't he have meter? If he wants to ring you out using this move on its own, he has to counter hit you with it for the follow-up to be guaranteed. On normal hit, you can simply block the follow-up. But here's the thing, he can also use it after launches, such as his 2-2B for example, and extend the combo to ring you out from even further away. There isn't anything you can do to punish his 4A, A plus B either, unless you are ducking the initial hit of the string because it actually jails. You want my tip? If at all possible, just stay away from the ring edge when playing against Yoshimitsu. That's your safest bet. Number 2. Salomon Damnation of Ereshkigal. Just like Yoshimitsu, Salomon actually has to counter it with this move for it to be a natural combo. And even though he also has access to several other moves that can ring out behind him on normal hit, such as his Wild Rising B for example, I wanted to mention this one because it is a horizontal. Being hit by any attack while moving in any direction other than forward is going to be a counter hit, so it's rather likely that horizontal attacks will result in counter hits. The thing you can do about the string is to duck the second hit after you have blocked the first. I have to tell you though that he also has a 6AB, which is going to hit you if you duck. And if you happen to duck the initial 6A and keep ducking to avoid 6AA, you are going to get lethal hit by his 6AB, because it lethal hits if the first attack misses and the second hits. One more thing worth mentioning is that 6AA is +6 on block, so don't mash buttons after you block it. Number 1. Ivy Pride. Ivy has a couple of options to ring you out behind her with different combos. but I wanted to list this move that everybody who is playing SoulCalibur probably got hit by at least once or twice. Only Ivy players are brave enough to crouch down when they are having their back up against the ring edge, but rightfully so, because in my opinion, full crouch 1B is a pretty awesome move. At 18 frames it is fairly quick and makes you think twice about pestering her with lows that are minus 18 or worse on block, because you might lose that round if you do. Just like Siegfried's 4B, Ivy also has to be close enough to you for her full crouch 1B to ring out behind her. Otherwise it is just going to knock you down in front of her. So you can always try to position yourself so that even if it does hit you, it won't ring you out. This move is only minus 12 on block, which means you won't be able to punish her too hard when you block it, but take what you can get. Other than that, it is also a vertical, so you can sidestep around it. That's it for my top 10 list of reverse ring out moves everybody should be aware of. Let me know in the comments down below if I should have mentioned other moves instead. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you for watching, I'll be back soon with more content.